Last year, Stanley and Alfred, we had a chance to attend the seminar in Stanford University, talk about the TPP. And that was held on October 11 and 12, 2 days conference. Just a day before the seminar, it's double 10 in Taipei. And mind you, announced public in his speech, he said, Taiwan and China is district to district, it's no longer nation to nation. So it's actually become one of the discussion on the table. And I had the chance to approach to several of the panelists. I asked them, will that mean something to you? And no one can really answer the question because the conference paid by the KMT, you know? But they would not say publicly to offense it. But the question is that right now there's 10 members inside the TPP, right? So while Taiwan's economy policy is moved the way to the China, okay? It depends on China so much, and what that means TPP, Taiwan get into the TPP, it's another link for China to get into the TPP, or it really means that Taiwan people want to get into TPP. And of course, we know that TPP will be helpful to Taiwan's future. No one questioned it. But what that means, China, they include Taiwan, so either Taiwan get in there or the China get in there. So that's the question.
Yeah, it's a complex question because China hasn't clearly indicated yet, what its attitude towards the TPP is. And they proposed a separate organization that they would be part of, and other regional countries in Asia, but not the United States. And how that affects Taiwan is yet to be clarified as well. I think that it's important for Taiwan to do everything it can to participate in the TPP or regional groups like the TPP as a way of not being so dependent on China.
Exactly. Yeah. We really hope so. Again, I always support the Lee Teng-hui's policy. During his presidency, he said that Taiwan should go toward the south. That's his policy. Not heavily depends on the China.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one listened.
Nobody listened.
Nobody listened. Right. And now we know the trouble. We know that his was right at that time. Right. And then, unfortunately, but hopefully now people in Taiwan can wake up, put their eye to the global vision, not just in China. You move the market out of China, and then, just like the United States, pull it back to the manufacturer, come back to the United States. That's something.
From our conversation before dinner last night,
right.
that Lee Teng-hui has been a good friend of mine for 35 years.
Yes.
But in my heart, I'm a Taiwanese. I want what's good for Taiwan. And as a foreigner, I've been careful always to not get involved in Taiwan politics. And I've had the opportunity to get to know a lot of people who are involved in Taiwan politics on all sides. And so I have friends who are in Qingdang. I have friends who are Kuomintang, and people that are not either. Lee Teng-hui now is not either. James Song was a friend of mine because I worked with him back in the days when I was leading the project to establish ICRT, and he was head of the GIO. And way back, before the formation of the Minjindang, the opposition was, called itself the Dangwai. And even back in those days, I used to go to some of the coffee shops in Taipei where they would have their meetings, and they liked to have a chance to talk to a foreigner and speak English and talk about Taiwan issues, and that was a lot of fun for me. And people there like Xie Zhanting and CP John, and a number of the, and then later on, before she was involved in politics, Tsai Ing-wen and I became friends just when she was a young lawyer. In fact, at one time we had negotiation about the possibility of merging her law firm and my law firm. We decided that it wouldn't work because the philosophies were a little bit different. But in the course of our discussions, she and I became good friends. And so I had a unique experience. In the last election, I've seen 3 people running for president. They were all friends of mine.
Just for you, quick information. I invite Tsai Ing-wen over here as a keynote speaker on your position back in 2001.
Oh.
Yeah. Her first public speech, was here. After he took over the MAC, the Minion Affair Commission. Yeah.
Well,
she had a special trip over here and stayed one night and then returned. That's it.
Tsai Ing-wen and I know each other well enough, that we can joke and we can tease each other. There was a visit that I made a couple of years ago, along with Paul Wolfowitz and Rupert.
Okay.
And so we had a meeting with, we met with cabinet ministers, and at that time Liu Jiaxuan was prime minister.
Yeah, right.
And then we met with Ma Ying-jeou, and so in the meeting with Ma Ying-jeou, the photographers snapped a picture, which was in the front page of the papers, and it was on TV too. When I put my hand out to shake hands with Ma Ying-jeou, he grabbed me and hugged me, and that's when they took the picture. So I didn't know that, but the next morning we had a meeting with Tsai Ing-wen, and so Tsai Ing-wen said, "I saw your picture in the paper." And I said, "Really? I didn't know that." She said, "Yeah, look at this." She said, "This proves you're deep blue." I said, "No, I am not." I think she's great.
Well, she had the potential.
She's got integrity.
Yeah.
Tsai Ing-wen is smart, and she's got integrity, and I think that the DPP was very fortunate when she came along and brought those qualities into the chairmanship of the DPP. So I like her and I respect her, and I'm just happy to call her one of my friends.
Yeah, she actually, I haven't spoken to her for a long time, since last time she was here, and we talk a lot. But after that, she became the chairman of the DPP. So I'm not a member of the DPP, so I don't really had a close talk to her. But that's my dream, to talk to her again, because she is inconsistency in her slogan. Before the election, she said, "Aussie is a government exile," publicly. Okay. And while he jumped into the election, he said, "Unification is the only selection for Taiwan in the future." And she insists that Taiwan is Aussie, Aussie is Taiwan. And of course, I raised a big question mark there. And hopefully, if I have a chance, I haven't been to Taiwan for several years, and I plan to visit her. And I share all my story to Li Denghui in his house, and he totally agreed with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he agreed with me.
Well, I hate the term unification.
Yeah. Actually, we had a very close talk, and I show him. I bring my laptop there, just in his house, and he agrees with me.
Yeah.
Sir, may I add a little bit about Tsai Ing-wen? In 2008, the newspaper for the international newspaper or something like that in Chinese, except that the two phrases John just mentioned, ROC, Taiwan is ROC, he had two another phrase. ROC no longer foreign regime, because Li Denghui said, unfortunately, ROC is a foreign regime. So, but she denied that, number one. It's not a very serious, issue. But the last one is more serious. I don't know if you are aware of